Before I tell you this story, I need you to understand one thing. What you're about to hear is not fiction. This is not a Netflix show. This is not a movie. This is the true story of a man who looked completely normal, who was charming, educated, handsome, a law student, a volunteer, a political worker, and a cold-blooded killer who murdered at least 30 young women across 7 states. The FBI called him one of the most dangerous criminals in American history. Detectives who worked his case retired early. Some never recovered. And even today, in 2026, new DNA evidence is still identifying his victims. This is the story of Theodore Robert Bundy, America's most brutal serial killer. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you will understand exactly how a monster hides in plain sight. November 24th, 1946, Burlington, Vermont. A baby boy is born to a young, unmarried woman named Eleanor Cowell. She names him Theodore Robert Cowell. But here's the first strange thing about Ted Bundy's life. He grew up believing his mother was his older sister, and his grandparents were his parents. The family kept the secret of his birth hidden for years. In 1950, Eleanor moved Ted to Tacoma, Washington. She married a man named Johnny Bundy, and the boy's name was officially changed. Theodore Robert Bundy. Ted Bundy. His childhood neighbors remembered him as a quiet, polite boy. His teachers liked him. His classmates called him smart. But there were signs, even then. A neighbor once said when Ted was just 3 years old, he placed kitchen knives around her sleeping body while she napped and stood there, watching. Nobody thought much of it at the time. They should have. By his teenage years, Ted Bundy had become what psychologists call a peeping Tom. He would roam neighborhoods at night, watching people through windows, stealing things, not for money, for the thrill. Classmates who knew him in high school described him as charming. Girls liked him, guys respected him. On the surface, he was the all-American young man. Underneath the surface, something very dark was growing. January 4th, 1974, Seattle, Washington. An 18-year-old University of Washington student named Karen Sparks is asleep in her apartment. At some point during the night, Ted Bundy broke in through her window. He took a metal rod from her bed frame and he attacked her while she slept. Karen survived, but she was left with permanent brain damage. She was his first confirmed victim. 1 month later, February 1st, 1974, another University of Washington student, 21-year-old Linda Ann Healy, disappeared from her apartment. Police found bloodstains on her pillow. Her nightgown, neatly folded, was found nearby, but Linda was gone. And over the next several months, young women across Washington state began disappearing, one by one. Donna Manson, Susan Rancourt, Roberta Parks, Brenda Ball, Georgianne Hawkins. Each one young, each one with long dark hair parted in the middle, each one gone. Witnesses started reporting the same thing. A young, handsome man, sometimes wearing an arm sling, sometimes on crutches, driving a tan Volkswagen Beetle, asking women for help. That's how he did it. Ted Bundy used his charm and a fake disability to make women feel safe approaching him. He would ask them to carry something to his car, and the moment they got close enough, that was the last time anyone saw them alive. July 14th, 1974, Lake Sammamish State Park, Washington. This is the day Ted Bundy became bold, dangerously bold. In broad daylight, in a crowded park, he approached multiple women using his real first name, telling them his arm was in a sling and he needed help with his sailboat. One woman named Janice Ott agreed to help. She was seen walking toward the parking lot with him. She was never seen again. That same day, Denise Nosland also disappeared from the same park. 2 women, 1 day, 1 park, hundreds of witnesses, and nobody could stop him. In the fall of 1974, Bundy did something that shocked investigators later. He enrolled in the University of Utah Law School, Salt Lake City, Utah, a serial killer studying the law. And within 1 month of arriving in Utah, women started disappearing there too. Melissa Smith, daughter of a local police chief, vanished on October 18, 1974. Her body was found 9 days later. She had been sexually assaulted and strangled. Then came Laura Anne, Carol DeRanche, Deborah Kent, state after state, city after city. The same signature, the same Volkswagen Beetle. But on November 8, 1974, Bundy made his first critical mistake. A young woman named Carol DeRanche was leaving a shopping mall in Murray, Utah. A man approached her. He identified himself as Officer Rosalind of the Murray Police Department. He told her someone had tried to break into her car. She trusted him. She got into his car. Once inside, Bundy tried to handcuff her. But in his rush, he accidentally put both cuffs on the same wrist. Carol fought back. She managed to open the car door and jump out onto the road. A passing car stopped. She was saved. Carol DeRanche survived, and she would eventually help put Ted Bundy behind bars. By 1975, investigators in Washington, Utah, Idaho, and Colorado were starting to connect the dots. The same description, the same car, the same method. August 1975, a police officer in a Salt Lake City suburb pulled over a tan Volkswagen Beetle driving late at night with the headlights off. Inside the car, he found handcuffs, rope, a ski mask, and an ice pick. The driver, a polite, well-spoken young man, said his name was Ted Bundy. He was arrested. This is where the story of Ted Bundy becomes almost unbelievable, because what happened next no Hollywood writer could have invented. In 1976, Bundy was convicted of kidnapping Carol DeRanche. He was sentenced to up to 15 years in prison, but investigators were building a much bigger case against him for murder. He was transferred to Aspen, Colorado in June 1977 for a murder hearing. And one afternoon, while visiting the courthouse law library, Ted Bundy jumped out of a second-story window, 25 feet off the ground, and ran. He was free for 8 days, hiding in the mountains outside Aspen. Police searched everywhere. They eventually caught him, but Bundy wasn't done. December 30th, 1977, New Year's Eve. In his jail cell in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, Bundy had been secretly losing weight for months. He had found a small hole in the ceiling of his cell. While guards celebrated the new year, Ted Bundy squeezed through a 12-inch hole in the ceiling, crawled through the dark space above the jail, walked through the jailer's apartment, and walked out the front door. By the time guards discovered he was missing the next morning, he had been gone for 15 hours. The FBI issued a $100,000 reward for his capture. A massive manhunt was launched across the country, but Bundy was moving fast. He flew to Chicago, took a train to Michigan, drove a stolen car to Atlanta, and then boarded a bus to Tallahassee, Florida, where he rented an apartment near Florida State University. He had a new city, a new identity, and the same murderous hunger. January 15th, 1978, 3 a.m., Tallahassee, Florida. Ted Bundy approached the Chi Omega sorority house near Florida State University. He found a broken back door and walked inside. What happened in the next 15 minutes was described by investigators as some of the most brutal crime scenes they had ever seen in their careers. He entered the room of 21-year-old Margaret Bowman. She was beaten to death with a piece of firewood while she slept. He then entered the room of 20-year-old Lisa Levy. She was strangled and sexually assaulted. She died before morning. Two other students, Karen Chandler and Kathy Kleiner, were also attacked. Both survived, but with broken bones and severe injuries. In less than 15 minutes, Bundy had attacked 4 women in their own home. He then walked 8 blocks away to the apartment of another FSU student, Cheryl Thomas. He broke in and attacked her as well. She survived, but was left with permanent deafness in one ear. 5 victims, one night, less than 30 minutes. The city of Tallahassee woke up to news that morning that sent shockwaves across the country. Women were terrified. Campuses across Florida went on high alert, and nobody yet knew who had done it. But Ted Bundy wasn't finished. February 9th, 1978. Lake City, Florida. Bundy approached a 12-year-old girl named Kimberly Leach in the middle of a school day. He abducted her from her school. Her body was found weeks later near the Swanee River State Park. She was his last known victim, 12 years old. February 15th, 1978. A police officer in Pensacola, Florida, noticed a car driving erratically at 1:34 in the morning. He ran the plates. The car was stolen. The driver refused to give his name. He resisted arrest. The officer subdued him after a struggle. Back at the station, the man gave a fake ID. But 2 days later, he finally admitted who he was. Ted Bundy, America's most wanted fugitive. Caught not because of a massive investigation, but because of a routine traffic stop. What followed was one of the most unusual trials in American history. Bundy, a law student, decided to act as his own attorney. He was charming in the courtroom, confident, composed. People watched him on television and couldn't believe this man was a killer. But the evidence was undeniable. Bite marks found on victim Lisa Levy matched Bundy's teeth perfectly. A ski mask found at the scene contained his hair. On July 24, 1979, Bundy was found guilty of the Chi Omega murders. He was sentenced to death. He was later also convicted for the murder of 12-year-old Kimberly Leach, sentenced to death again. He spent 10 years on death row, filing appeal after appeal, at one point offering to reveal the locations of more victims' remains in exchange for more time to live. Investigators called it Ted's Bones for Time scheme. It didn't work. In the final days before his execution, Bundy began confessing. He admitted to 30 murders across 7 states. Criminologists today believe the actual number may be 50 or even higher. In fact, just recently, in March 2026, DNA evidence finally confirmed that Bundy killed 17-year-old Laura Ann Aime, who disappeared from a Halloween party in Utah in 1974. 52 years later, her family finally has answers. January 24th, 1989. 7 a.m., Stark, Florida. Theodore Robert Bundy was strapped into the electric chair. He was executed. Outside the prison, crowds gathered and cheered. Ted Bundy was not a monster from a horror movie. He was a real person, educated, charming, ordinary-looking, and that is exactly what made him so dangerous. The FBI learned more about serial killers from studying Ted Bundy than almost any other case. His case helped build the modern science of criminal profiling. His interrogations trained a generation of FBI investigators. The women he killed were real people, They had families, dreams, futures. Linda Healy, Karen Sparks, Lisa Levy, Margaret Bowman, Kimberly Leach, and dozens of more whose names we may never know. Their stories deserve to be told, not to glorify the killer, but to remember the lives he took. Ted Bundy once said, and I quote, "I'm the most cold-hearted son of a bitch you'll ever meet." He was right about that. But what he never understood is that while his name is remembered in infamy, he died alone in a prison cell strapped to a chair. And the people who loved his victims are still here, still remembering, still fighting for justice. If this video helped you understand this case, please subscribe for more true crime documentaries every week. Drop a comment below. What case should I cover next?